Good morning, YouTube. It is a foggy Sunday morning. I thought it was going to be sunny. I thought we were going to have a little sunrise today, but I guess not. I'll take the fog though. It's beautiful. It's actually the first time I've seen fog this year, this fall season, so I'm very happy about it. So today I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about being single and some of the pros and some of the cons I've experienced being single. And why do I want to talk about this subject? I want to talk about this subject because I feel like it's really defined the majority of my life. Being single is something that I say I have a PhD in. In conversation, sometimes I'll tell people, you know what? If there's anything I have a doctorate in, it's being single. I know about this subject in and out, and that is because I've been single for 13 years. And I know and I'm 29 years old, by the way. And I know there's people who have been single for longer, maybe have been single their whole life, so they even know more about this subject. But I still wanted to give my 2 cents because I do feel that being single for 13 years is significant, and that perhaps I have some things that I could share with some people who are, I don't know, maybe considering the single life, or that are single and who are struggling, or so I want to talk about being single. I even wrote down some stuff on a note so I don't forget some subjects, because seriously, this subject is very expansive, and there's a lot of things I want to cover. So being single. So I've been single for 13 years. I was in a relationship as a teenager. I know it's goofy, but I did get my heart fucking broken. So it was something that impacted me a lot. I remember I couldn't even eat after I got my heart broken for like 2 days. It was just catastrophic for me. Like literally, it hurt really bad. And I remember after that experience, just thinking to myself, oh my God, will I ever be happy again? Will I ever be happy? I was only 13, 14 years old at the time. And so, I was pretty naive and very young, still building my confidence and my self-esteem in my life. Of course, at that age, you're still a child. So when you're no longer in a relationship, it's like the world ends around you. A relationship tends to be a highlight, or is a highlight in our lives. It's relationships and love is there's such a societal fixation on it, and it from everything from movies to just the culture to books, music, literally like everything, holidays, everything is so fixated on romantic love. So when that gets pulled up from under you as a 13-year-old, it's catastrophic. So, but fortunately, I worked on myself a lot afterwards, and I decided to stay single. Now, I give it a 50-50 divide. Yes, 50% was me, 50% was me getting rejected. So that's why I'm single. So all right, let's get into it. So number one reason I love being single is because of the autonomy. I have a lot of autonomy in my life. I get to make decisions just based on my own feelings and based on my own needs, and that is a wonderful thing. I could live where I want to, I could work where I want to, I could do what I want to on the weekends, I could eat where I want to, I can watch this movie if I want to, I could listen to this, I could do this or that, and I don't need a secondary opinion. There's no one else there that I need to bounce ideas off of. It's just me, myself, and I. And that freedom is something I feel we take for granted. When you're in a relationship, it's a balancing act. You are constantly needing to, survey your partner and see kind of where they're at with, something. And your needs may have to be not prioritized because of this other person that you are in a relationship with. And that comes down to like literally everything. Maybe you're making a decision on buying a car, maybe you are making a decision on buying a house, or maybe you've already bought a house and it's time to decorate, and you want to decorate one way and the other person wants to decorate in another way. And it's just like literally everything can become something in a relationship. And not to say that it's all bad and not to say that it's all good either, but the freedom and the autonomy of being able to make decisions as a single person is definitely a therapeutic thing for me. So number 2, and this pertains particularly to my situation, is like the sense of being self-made. I love the fact that I got myself through my master's program and achieved my career all by myself. I didn't depend on anyone at the end of the day to like push me along in my journey. Nobody was sending me good morning texts throughout that whole process. Nobody was, checking in on me. In the process of, finishing my bachelor's degree and saving money for my master's degree, which took about 2 years, and then getting my master's degree, and now 2 years post my master's degree, nobody's been supporting me like directly by my side in that sense. Of course, I have a bunch of amazing friends and supportive family, and so I have them to thank, but I feel kind of self-made. I'm never gonna have an issue in a future relationship where they're like, I helped you through this or that, because I'm already going to meet my partner on a firm financial stance. Like I'm already meeting them, already having achieved my career, so and being pretty financially stable. So it's like it's kind of nice. So that actually blends into another point, which is like another reason why I've loved being single for 13 years is because I've worked on myself and I've built myself up. So when I do meet a potential partner, I'm already going to be at this level, that's very different from, meeting someone when you're in your early 20s. Like I'm 29 years old. I'm pretty well established already. And, and I could see, and on the other side of that, it could very much be an amazing experience growing with someone and building with someone. And I'm not saying this to take away from people who have established their careers or financial stability while in a relationship, but it's just going back to the things that I love about having been single and being able to give myself that credit for having done it on my own, and that gives me confidence in relationships to, that can even give me confidence to leave a bad relationship if I'm being treated bad. I'm like, dude, I already made it this far without you. Like, I don't need you, obviously, so confidence, self-esteem. All right, I'm gonna turn off the camera. I will be right back. All right, reason number 3 why I've loved being single for 13 years is because I've been able to develop in my sense of self-love. When you're single for this amount of time, you have to turn to loving yourself. You have to appreciate things about yourself. You have to really manage your inner monologue, your inner world of emotions. You have to really manage these things because you're the one operating the ship here. No one else is coming to, help you, and you're the one individual that's in charge of making sure that you're okay and that you're good. And this, after doing this for so long, you start to develop a deep sense of appreciation for yourself. And it's not like a narcissistic type of appreciation. It's a I'm trying to fix my little camera thing. So it's not a narcissistic sense of of like grandiosity. It's a self love. It's an appreciation for your efforts. It's a humility, and it's also I feel like it's just like an appreciation for all of the time that you've spent, all of the nights that may have been difficult, the days that may have been difficult, and how you were able to manage and get yourself through that and take care of yourself, whether physically, spiritually, mentally. All of that creates a sense of self-love. Like, man, I've been through it. Singleness isn't always easy, and sometimes you're going through periods of loneliness, and you're going through periods of sadness or grief, maybe missing certain people that you were in your past. So the more that you go through that alone, the more you're able to look at yourself and say, wow, I survived that, and I got myself through that, and I love myself for that. So the opportunity for self-love here is abundant. All right, I'm tired of holding my camera. I need to switch again. Fuck, man. I knew holding my camera up was gonna be a bitch. My arm gets tired, guys. And I'm fairly strong, but my arm still gets tired. I did do upper body yesterday, so that might be the reason why I'm so tired. But this is a long video. So number 4 reason I have loved being single for 13 years is because you save money when you are single. For the most part. It's not a guarantee, but for the most part, you save that bank, baby. And you can decide what you want to do with your money. Once again, kind of connecting back to decision making. You can decide to invest your money. You can decide to, save your money. You can blow your money on whatever the fuck you want to do. If you just want to drink alcohol, you just want to party, you can do that. And you can do that guilt-free. Well, I mean, maybe you'll still feel guilty afterwards, but saving money, man. Relationships take a lot of money. Usually when you're in a relationship, you want to, get your own place. You want to, own pets. Like, all this shit takes a lot of money. And when you're single, and you're just taking care of yourself, like, you're not making like major financial decisions sometimes, and there's a little bit less obligation maybe to like move out of your parents' house, and so it's money saving being single. But in many ways, being single can also destroy your money if you're not managing correctly. So so that's number 4. Number 5 is emotional independence, which kind of connects to self-love. But, I feel that when you are single, you really have no one to lean on. You only can look to yourself, and you're kind of forced to do all this hard work. You're forced to develop this emotional resilience, this emotional strength, because you have to go through it yourself. So you are like, literally, it's like you either go through this or you crash and burn, and you got to go through it. And you can't, reach out for that partner, and you can't always have someone there to provide you that support. So emotional independence, and I think this is a major piece in developing, a stable sense of personality, a stable identity, which is my 5th or 6th point. I forgot what point I'm on now. My 5th or 6th point, which is developing an intrapersonal relationship with yourself. So I want to differentiate. Interpersonal is our relationship to other people. Intra with an A, intrapersonal relationship is our relationship with ourselves, which I think is maybe the number one fundamental aspect that I have loved most about being single for 13 years, is that my relationship with myself is fucking awesome. I like to use the analogy of like a son charged battery when it comes to my happiness and my relationship with myself. Like, I don't really require a whole, like, another person to make me happy. Now, of course, don't let me bullshit you. I need my friends, I need my family. But being single is like being like one of those batteries that can charge from the sun. And when you're single and you're self-sufficiently happy, it's like, I don't need, it's as opposed to like a charger that needs to be plugged into an outlet. When you're single, my vibe has been that I can literally just go outside and recharge. I don't need to plug into a wall. With other people, I sense like, I need to be around my partner to be happy. I need to, oh man, this view is so pretty. I need my significant other, or else I feel empty. Not me. Like, I can go fucking sit outside like a desert lizard, and I feel good. I'm able to tap into my gratitude. I'm able to tap into my appreciation for the past, present, and future. I'm able to tap into how thankful I am for my friends and my family. I'm able to appreciate maybe some things that other people don't kind of like gloss over because they're fixated on trying to have joy from other people. And so that's huge. It's a liberating feeling to feel like I don't need another person to be happy. And I could look at all of these efforts, kind of going back to the self-made point. Like, I wake up with a lot of appreciation for myself daily because I got myself through a lot of hard work when I was in my early to mid 20s, and I did it a lot by myself, and I only have myself to thank for that, and of course my support system. And I think about those decisions I made, and I'm grateful for those, and I'm happy, and nobody could take that away from me. This is basically what I'm saying. So, all right, number 6 or 7 now. Let's see, what number is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 7, being stress-free. This connects a little bit back to the savings part. Well, a little bit, but apart from that, being stress-free. So one thing I've noticed being around people who are in relationships, whether it's friends or family, is that every relationship I've been around consistently more than maybe like 3 or 4 times, every relationship, there is bickering, there's arguing, there's some form of tension. It might not last long, and it might not even be a big deal. But one thing I've noticed being around couples is all of them, without fail, argue with one another. They have disagreements, and this is just basic human nature, but it's something that personally I cannot tolerate that well, like even in my own personal relationships. So one thing I've loved about being single is that I don't argue with anyone. I'm not in a disagreement with anyone. I don't harbor resentments towards anyone. And this is my life. And I don't have to deal with that. I don't have to deal with, either having an expectation on another person that isn't being met, or having a need that isn't being met by another person, or harboring some sort of jealousy or resentment, or not feeling heard or not feeling appreciated. I don't have to deal with any of that, because my emotional needs do not come from another person, and I do not have expectations on other people to meet any of my needs, whether it is being witnessed, whether it's being appreciated, whether it's being seen, whether it's being heard. I'm not depending on other people for that. Now, in many ways I do. Like, even on this YouTube thing, I'm kind of depending to be heard a little bit. When I post on Instagram, depending to be heard. Facebook, when I talk to my mom, but not in a sense that's going to make or break me. Not in a sense that's going to destroy my reality or make me emotionally dysregulated. So that is a massive aspect actually of being single, is just being stress-free, because every relationship I've been around, all of them without fail have some tension. And I feel that being single for so long, there is no tension in my life. I don't have arguments with people. I don't have major disagreements. When there's tension between me and someone else, I get away. I walk away. Like I don't engage in arguments. I haven't engaged in an argument in so long. So, when I'm around other couples doing it, it reminds me like, oh shit, I have like the most stable intrapersonal relationship with myself, because like this is so out of my homeostasis that it's just another reminder that I live like a stress-free single life. So let's move forward. No guilt when dating. What is this? 7-8? Y'all. I don't experience guilt from dating. If I go on a date, I don't feel guilty. Of course, it's been a long time since I've been romantically involved with anyone. I did have a few situationships here and there, but it's I don't experience guilt with dating, and it's kind of nice to be able to go on a date with a clean conscience and to not feel like I'm betraying someone or doing something dirty behind someone's back. It's being able to just go on a date and be authentic, and not have to worry about, oh my God, am I playing dirty right now with someone else, or like, am I cheating? Like none of that. So, and I say this because I have been on dates with girls where sometimes like towards the end, it's like I sense like a little bit of like anxiety or just something like weird, I don't know, some energy, and then come to find it's like they're like either still in like a situationship or they're still recovering from their ex. And it's like, okay, yeah, they have perhaps some guilt. They have maybe a little bit of shame, they're dealing, or maybe mixed feelings. So there's that aspect to being single for a long time that ensures that you're long past the past, and the past is over there. It's not here. Like that shit's done. There's nothing there. And that's a nice thing when you've been single for 13 years. All right. So, point number 8 or 9, who fucking knows by this point, but it is not dealing with another individual's family. Guys, when you're in a relationship, you have to, at some level, interact and engage with your partner's family. And that is a whole family system, and that is a whole set of expectations, rules, that's a whole culture, that's a whole lineage, that's trauma, that's multi-generational shit that you have to deal with the moment that you enter another person's family system. It's a lot of stuff, and I know it sounds like I'm like maybe overemphasizing or over catastrophizing, but once you're seriously acquainted with someone, yes, you have to be in some sense, you're being ingrained in that family system. And if you're not ready to learn new things, adapt new ways of existing and thinking and being, you might have a hard time integrating yourself. So yes, the family system, integrating yourself into a new family system, can be very stressful, but it could also be a blessing, man. Who knows? So, and once again, just highlighting the pros, highlighting some of the things that I've enjoyed being single, and some of the things that I haven't really had to deal with being single because of being single, and also, I've been able to focus more on my family because of the fact that I am single. I've been able to help my dad with his retirement, and who knows, maybe if I had a partner who was struggling, I wouldn't be able to attend that much to my family. So, so yes, the family system is a significant aspect. Ask anyone who's married. You have to deal with their family. Their family becomes your family. You become their family. So there's a lot of intertwinement. I don't think that's the right use of the word, but there's a lot of there's lots of integration that goes into that. And family systems, guys, they're very complex. They can be very hard to navigate. So you have to really be careful. Sometimes they can be toxic. You can have people with personality disorders, in family systems, and manipulative people. And so your partner can be your partner can be a psychopath. So so all right. Okay, I think this is one of the last ones. Probably reason 9 or 10 by now. But one of the last reasons I have loved being single, I'm actually going to talk about some of the cons after this. But one of the last reasons I've loved being single is that I have been able to focus on healing from prior relationships, healing from just general trauma I've experienced. When you are single, you have more time to reflect, you have more time to process, you have more time to live in the ugly and negativity of your history and genuinely grieve and process that. There's no distractions. You are faced with, if you have like a negative emotion pop up, you're faced with it. You have to process it. You have to grieve it. If you have an intrusive memory pop up from the past, you have to process it. You have to grieve it. If these things, when you're single, your traumas, they come back to haunt you sometimes. And when you're single, you have more time to kind of make connections. I can only imagine being in a relationship with someone who has complex trauma or lots of PTSD and having to help them navigate their trauma while having trauma of my own. That would sound really hard, and it would take really perhaps someone like a mental health professional to help us through that. So it could be very difficult, and people can get burnt out really quick, especially dealing with a partner with trauma or abandonment problems or low self-esteem. It could really burn a relationship out. And so one of the greatest things about being single is just being able to focus on healing from your trauma. Journaling, being able to take on goals, being able to take on challenges that are significant and meaningful to you, and that help you build your resilience, that help you build your strength. So healing from trauma is a beautiful thing, and I just feel that when you're single, you have to take on the bull by the horns, baby. You've just got to. There's no other way. All right, so now that I've gone over some of the things that I've loved about being single, I'm now going to go over some of the things that I haven't loved, some of the hard aspects about being single, because it's not all rainbows and sunshine, obviously. Most people hate being single. That's why we have such a societal fixation on being single, because on relationships, because relationships are like a fucking drug. They feel good. Sex feels good. Cuddling feels good. All these things feel good. So, number one con of being single, obviously, is that you are lonely. You have no one to turn to on those nights. Or let's say there's an event going on and you don't get to have your significant other there holding your hand. And that can weigh on some people really heavily. The freeway is making lots of noise. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk back, and then I'm gonna walk back to where I'm at. So my audio doesn't get bugged. I'll be right back. Alrighty, we're on. So yeah, so being single can weigh on someone really heavily, and it could, be very distressing. I've been there. Obviously, I've been single for 13 years, so I know about this. And it's something that, I think when I was younger, I struggled with a lot more. Is just like, if I was hanging out around couples, or if I was at an event where there was lots of couples, and just kind of being single and just kind of being there sometimes, sometimes feeling out of place. But it's something that actually, once you are able to develop maybe better social skills and you're able to connect with others better and not just center the fact that you are a single person and just kind of engage with and in the social setting, actually being a single person sometimes can be the funnest thing. Sometimes I see like other people who are like in relationships, you don't want to like branch out and socialize as much as I do, because I'm just a single guy trying to make friends. And also there's a beauty to, being able to genuinely just like go around trying to make friends. Not saying people in relationships can't do this, but I do feel that sometimes there's a little bit, sometimes in relationships where, maybe one of the people might not want to be like as social as they could be, because they don't want to like potentially disrespect their other partner. So, being single, allows you that ability to be able to like socialize openly. Okay, this was supposed to be cons. I'm already going into pros. Obviously, guys, I have biases here. So, let's go back into that con. Being lonely fucking sucks, man. Being lonely sometimes is a burden. Being lonely sometimes, it's like, you have to kind of learn to cope with that. There's a longing sometimes for a relationship. There's certain timelines that people feel like they have to meet. Now, this is something that's far gone from my mind, but yeah, a lot of time people feel like, oh man, I'm 30, I should have been married by now. And, there's a longing for that companionship. And I feel like, we are a social species. Our ancestors were mating. And so we have that in our DNA. It's hardwired into us. So there's just a longing for that companionship. And that's the hard part. Not being able to have sex with someone consistently, in that romantic type of way. Hooking up is not the same as being in love, and you get some needs met, but you don't get all the other needs met. So that's a huge piece here that is missing, is like that actual love connection and that bonding and that genuine commitment. What are the other cons? I don't really have that many cons. It's really just like sometimes it's like just feeling fucking lonely and like just wanting to like be with someone else, and share experiences with another person. Yeah, that is a big thing, sharing experience, having memories with another person, having a strong, firm relationship with someone is all something that single people don't get to experience. And I'm not really thinking, now that I think about it, I don't really write that many cons. I should go into cons a little bit more. Yeah, I just thought about that. I'd probably be more able to think about the cons if I was in a relationship and I knew what I was missing out on. But it's kind of funny that I'm not even able to really think about it that much. I don't know. Maybe if you like rent out a space, and like I'm a big fan of like, 35, 65, guy goes 65, girl goes 35. But I don't know, that's just I don't know. It could help with I don't fucking know. So let's finish off this video, guys. Holy shit, I've been going on for like 35 minutes. I was not expecting this to be 35 minutes, but it's a juicy video. So lastly, you learn to cope with the negative emotions, being single for so long, and it's something that just kind of becomes innate. It becomes automatic, I feel. But there's still a longing, and really ultimately I feel there's an emotional maturity that comes from being single. There's a natural preparedness that also comes with being single for so long. For my folks who've been single for a long time, like, hopefully you guys have been able to still get experience in managing relationships, whether it's family or friends, or even work, that will benefit you. The longer you are on this earth, the older you are, the more experience you get, the more ability you have to manage social stress, the more ability you have to manage relational conflicts. So, I think when it comes down to one of the final points why I've loved being single for so long is because I have tons of experience, whether in work, friendships, or family, that have taught me how to manage conflict, which give me a lot of confidence going into a potential relationship, because I know I can manage conflict if it arises. And that's something that comes with age. So, yeah, that's something that comes with the years. This video isn't why I've loved being single for 1 year. It's why I've loved being single for 13 motherfucking years. Yeah. Catch up to me, noobs. All right. No hating. But yeah, I am, emotional maturity. Yeah, emotional maturity. I think we talked about that a little bit about, just not depending on others, but also, I don't even want to say that age automatically gives someone emotional maturity, but if you're doing the right thing while you're single, yes, you can become very emotionally mature and independent. But yeah, guys, so those are some of the pros and cons I wanted to point out. This is a video I've been wanting to make for a long time, because I feel that singleness is a fascinating subject and being in love is a fascinating subject. So hopefully you guys got something out of it. And yeah, man, I feel so good being single. Honestly, a lot of the time I just feel good about meeting potential someone in the future, but also I'm kind of ready if that doesn't happen as well. That's also something that I've spent a lot of time thinking about, is what if I never find the significant other? Like, I have to be okay with that. And maybe I find a significant other and it's only meant to be for a period of time. I feel like that's also a possibility as well. So I also have mentally prepared for that too. So with that, guys, we still believe in love out here nonetheless. And I hope you guys have a beautiful and wonderful Sunday. Remember to get some exercise in. Remember to get over your ex. No, grieve, heal, and you will find yourself in a much better position, single or in a relationship or a situationship. My thing is, you shouldn't be in a situationship for longer than like 2 or 3 months. He's just playing you if it's lasting longer than that, or she's just playing you if it's lasting any longer than that. But yeah, guys, with that, if you watched it till the end of this video, we both need help. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just kidding. Guys, have a lovely Sunday. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace and love.